court after she's accused of drunk driving with her child in the back seat. An investigation is underway after an Ohio correctional officer was killed on the job.
Hi, I'm Local 12 News meteorologist Tara Blake. Not getting much of a break in the way of rain, but there is today. We'll talk more about your weekend wet weather and warm up coming up.
And I'll show you the latest on efforts to repair the Big Mac Bridge. Local 12 News live at noon starts now.
Breaking news alerts and the Weather Authority forecast. This is Local 12 News.
Good afternoon and happy Thursday. Thank you for joining us for Local 12 News live at noon. I'm Annie Brown, in for Liz today. Just a short time ago, we received an update on the biggest traffic nightmare in the tri-state, the Daniel Carter Beard Bridge southbound closure. Local 12's Christian Hauser joins us with new information from ODOT and the company making the replacement pieces for the Big Mac Bridge. Christian.
Good afternoon, Annie. It was good news from the company building the replacement bridge girders. Now everything is coming together according to plan, and the first girder should actually be leaving Bowling Green, Ohio around the second week of January. Now Skyview 12 shows us the progress in the demolition of the damaged section of the bridge and where those new girders will be installed. Now, as you can see, the demolition is nearly complete. Now the focus is on the prep work for those girders and their installation. Now they'll be delivered one at a time in sequential order. So as they arrive, they can be placed directly into the repair. Now Stupp Bridge, that's the company making the girders, has been in business for nearly 170 years. I asked the company president about this process and how long this repair will last.
This repair will last for the duration of the bridge. I mean, the repair itself would last 100+ years. In effect, the remainder of the bridge would likely be out of service before the repair would be out of service. So there's no issue there. There's no concern there. It is routine for us to do this type of work.
Now, I'll be back at 4 with video of those girders and how they're made. Plus, I also asked ODOT about the schedule and if there's a chance for this bridge to open any sooner than the current projected date. You'll hear what a spokeswoman has to say about that timing. Annie, back to you.
Christian, good news. Thank you. With this big milestone reached, the reopening of the bridge is still slated for the middle of March, something every one of us who crosses the river will be thankful for. A home in a local neighborhood is damaged by flames. Firefighters in Deerfield responded to the house fire on Irwin Simpson Road around 10:30 last night. There's extensive damage to the second floor of that home. We're still working to find out if anyone was hurt. A local mother was in court this morning after she's accused of endangering her child. 21-year-old Mareni Mendez is accused of operating her vehicle under the influence with her 2-year-old child in the back seat. Her blood alcohol level was way over the legal limit. She's also accused of driving without a license. No bond was set. A local man was also in court this morning on felonious assault charges. Court documents say 36-year-old James Harrison attempted to cause harm to a young woman. Police say he cut the young woman in her leg. He is also accused of domestic violence. Harrison's bond was set at $27,500. Democrats are regrouping after losses in the November election. National correspondent Matt Galka reports on where the party goes from here.
Democrats lost the White House and the Senate and failed to flip the House. With Republicans set to steer the country, Kamala Harris has urged members of her party to not give up.
But let me be very clear. No one can walk away. No one can walk away. We must stay in the fight.
It's an uphill battle, and Ken Martin, one of the candidates running to be the next chair of the Democratic National Committee, didn't mince words about the election losses.
All important policy arenas that we need to be competing in because we're getting our butts kicked right there.
While Republicans have control in D.C., the margins are slim. The GOP will have a 220 to 215 majority in the House and a 53-47 majority in the Senate, meaning Democrats have some negotiating power if all Republicans are not on board with a piece of legislation. Some Democrats are looking to show the parties can work together.
Folks want to see governance work. Bipartisanship, and especially in the House where the margins are really, really tight, it means collaborating at the beginning to move legislation forward. And I will be hopeful, but obviously the majority kind of defines the tone there.
But there are serious priority gaps among the two parties, likely leading to plenty of congressional fights.
Certainly mass deportation. We have a significant part of California's population that every day work hard to put food on America's dinner table that are undocumented. But that workforce is critical.
When the new Congress gets sworn in, some Democrats will already be thinking about the 2026 midterms and how to win back voters that ushered in a Republican trifecta.
The Democratic Party should have one simple mission, and that is to address the economic hardships and struggles of many Americans, not just working class Americans, a large slice of Americans who feel the American dream has slipped away.
It's likely to look different for Democrats this time around than it did during Trump's first term, when complete resistance was the game plan. That message clearly flopped this past November, causing the party to reevaluate going forward. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
President Joe Biden signs 50 bills into law. One of them makes the bald eagle the official bird of the United States. The bald eagle is seen on everything from the presidential seal to the $1 bill, but it wasn't the nation's official bird until now. Congress passed the bill unanimously. President Biden also approved a bill that's backed by hotel heiress Paris Hilton.
I'm so grateful to announce the introduction of the bipartisan Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act.
Hilton has spent 3 years lobbying lawmakers for more oversight of residential programs for troubled teens. She says she was abused when she was institutionalized as a teenager. The Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act creates a federal work group to oversee the health and the safety of minors in rehab and other facilities. Another new law takes away congressional pensions for any lawmakers convicted of public corruption crimes. It's a dreary day out today. Let's get a check on the forecast with our meteorologist, Tara Blake. Tara?
Well, we're finally getting a break from the rain. Temperatures are going to go up today, too, but it's short-lived. Rain is right back for tomorrow and for your weekend plans, but at least it will be warmer. Behind it is the fall. Just wait for that. Oh, not ready. We've got current conditions on the quieter side. We could still see a stray drop or two, but we've got some drier air as the stationary front kind of dies out. We're waiting for that low to get closer to bring in your bigger rain chances for tomorrow and for those weekend plans. Today's high will be in the low 50s. We are getting milder. Temperatures this time of the year should only be in the low 40s, and we'll find that reading in the overnight hours. We'll have a few more clouds, a little bit of star action too, but not cold as your overnight low sits at 40. For tomorrow, temperatures warming back up even more so. So Friday's high is 54, increasing showers. So I think we start out dry. We'll be fine for the morning commute if anyone has to head out and about, but rain chances will be increasing and likely in the afternoon, and then they start to decrease, hopefully helping out your Friday night plans. But there's more to come for Saturday and Sunday and into next week too, so that is coming up next.
All right, Tara, thank you. If you're trying to get rid of some old Christmas lights, listen up. Christmas lights are notoriously bad for garbage equipment, costing municipalities around the country thousands of dollars a year in damages. A nonprofit called The Hub is making it easy to recycle those decorations. You can drop off any unwanted bags, bows, or wrapping paper for free at The Hub. Some things are accepted for a small fee, such as batteries or lights, but there's a holiday special going on. You can drop off string lights free of charge until February 1st. All proceeds go toward helping the Hub process materials and prevent them from ending up in landfills.
Help change the perception of waste for people to not think, we've just gone through this giant season of consumption and excess. It's going to be January soon and people are going to be thinking about how new year, new habits, how can I do something good? This is a very easy way.
Cincinnati Recycling and Reuse Hub is open on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and on Saturdays. An investigation is underway after an Ohio correctional officer was killed on the job. Instead of being with family Christmas morning, Officer Andrew Lansing was serving his community. Investigators say he was attacked by an inmate at the Ross Correctional Institution in Chillicothe. The inmate involved is not being named, but was moved to the prison in Lucasville. The Ohio State Highway Patrol is handling that investigation. Flu season is running rampant in the U.S. How many states have reported high levels? And today marks the 20th anniversary of the deadliest tsunami in history. That's next. Flu season is running rampant in the U.S. The CDC says 13 states reported high or very high levels of the flu last week. Lower vaccination rates for children are adding to that problem. It's too early in the season to know how effective this year's flu vaccine is. The FDA is cracking down on knockoff weight loss drugs. There was a nationwide shortage of popular name brand drugs, leading to a boom in copycat versions. But the FDA says the shortage has been resolved. Drug companies have been pushing the government to crack down on those off-brand copies. The holidays can be a big source of stress, but psychologists have some advice to take care of your mental health. They recommend letting go of perfectionism and accepting that not everything you plan will come out perfectly. Focus on the things that make you happy and ask for help if you're overwhelmed. Concern over bird flu is growing among some health experts. One point of concern is the spread of disease in cattle. Nearly 900 herds across 16 states have tested positive. The disease prompted a Portland-based pet food company to issue a nationwide voluntary recall after a house cat in Oregon died from eating one of its products, which tested positive for bird flu. Meantime, in neighboring Washington state, bird flu killed more than half of big cats at a sanctuary. It's unknown just how the animals contracted that virus. A family dispute leaves 3 people shot, 1 stabbed. That's coming up on Local 12 News, live at noon next. 3 people were shot and 1 person stabbed at an airport last night. Officials say it was a family dispute. It started at a restaurant at Terminal 4 at the Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport in Phoenix, Arizona. The incident spilled into the parking garage. Police say that's where they found a person stabbed. A female juvenile was detained. No charges have been filed yet. Sections of the airport were briefly closed, but all operations have resumed. 4 adults were found dead inside a home on Christmas Day. Officials in Wakefield, New Hampshire say family members called police and asked for a welfare check at the home after the victims failed to show up for a holiday gathering. The fire marshal says investigators will be looking into a gas heating system at the house. He says it appears the deaths were carbon monoxide related.
Tragic event. It comes at a year we've had a tough year in general for carbon monoxide deaths and fire fatalities in our state. I really hope to make it through the holidays without another death, and unfortunately I'm standing here before you today with 4 more deaths that appear to be carbon monoxide related.
Now, that house didn't have any carbon monoxide detectors. The name of the 4 victims haven't been released yet. Today marks the 20th anniversary of the deadliest tsunami in history. On December 26, 2004, a 9.1 magnitude earthquake struck off the western coast of the Indonesian island of Sumatra. It triggered massive tsunamis across the Indian Ocean. Giant waves slammed into the coasts of 14 countries, killing about 230,000 people. Now, 2 decades later, the horror endures for communities who've had to rebuild and families who've lost loved ones. We're taking a look from our Covington Sky Cam at the beautiful Cincinnati skyline. Meteorologist Tara Blake will have your Weather Authority forecast next. Right now, it's 12:18. Stay with us.
This is Tara Blake's hour-by-hour forecast.
It's not like I've been counting or anything, but it's been really soggy this month. 14 out of the last 25 days have had measurable precipitation. Now, today will be counted from the morning rain, so that's 15 out of 26. But also, if you add in the trace amounts days, that would put us at 17 out of 26 with precipitation. We need a break. And the good news is a lot of today for the rest of the day does look drier. That's going to help to warm up those temperatures. We may get another stray drop, but a lot of us do see drier conditions and again, some sun. Clouds are going to come back tonight and rain chances will start to increase later in the morning. So here's 10:30 on your Friday. If you're hoping to do some shopping or you've got other festivities, you will likely want the rain gear. Rain's going to move in, take over, increase for the afternoon hours. So definitely some rain gear needed for your Friday plans. Though I will note, looks heavier at 2, but by about 5, 6 o'clock, we're getting a break. We will see some lighter rain return on Saturday. Saturday right now does look a little better for us, but this is going to be the story of the weekend. We're going to go in and out of rain chances. Does look likely for Friday afternoon, does look likely late Saturday, but some lighter in between at 61 degrees. That is going to help us out when it comes to the Bengals game, especially if we see any sort of rain. No cold rain expected. And then Sunday, periods of rain, but I think it's going to pick up. Let me show you that in Futurecast. And so here's the light activity on Saturday. Again, it's going to kind of come in and out, but look at it increase late. Hopefully that's with some celebrations real late as we take on the Broncos and we beat them. But heavier rain looks to be here on Sunday. Sunday is going to be soggy. It's going to slow you down. A big travel day on Sunday. So you're going to have to plan on some extra time, especially if you're headed here in and around home, but also to the east. It's going to be better back to the west. We get a little break on Monday and back in talking rain again for us on Tuesday. Let's talk Bengals for a second, though. Again, we know this win is critical, but it's also critical to have the rain gear. 59 tailgating, kickoff at 61, final play at about 58. The rain just won't go away. Rain chances for your weekend, but there's your Tuesday chance. And maybe as it exits, we're going to see a little bit of flake action as well. Colder air invading. Now, the next rain chance, 10th, 2/10 is really it. But when you start to add all the days up, we've got another inch to 2 inches possible through the next 7 days. And once we lose the rain, we lose the heat. 2025, we're ushering in the cold immediately. Highs in the 30s, even though that's a little bit closer to where we should be this time of the year. So again, exiting rain for most, other than maybe a stray drop. You're going to be nice and dry today. Periods of rain are back on Friday. You've got that Saturday and Sunday. Your next dry day is Monday. And then 2025 is going to be colder.
Is the first day of Kwanzaa. It's an African-American and Pan-African holiday celebrating family, community, and culture. Today's principle is umoja, which means unity in Swahili. Kwanzaa was first celebrated in 1966. Go find a celebration today. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon at Local 12 News Live at noon. Be sure to join us back here at 4. Have a good afternoon.